Hello. Good evening. Hello, family. Hello, friends. How are you all doing this evening? How are you? Thank you for joining. Welcome on board. Thank you, everybody. How are you this evening? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, who's there? Knock, knock. Who is there? Knock, knock. Who is there? How are you guys? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Innocent. Yo, look, the new haircut. Yes, Innocent. How are you? Thank you for noticing. Not that is not very obvious. Ade Keju, good evening. How are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you very much, guys. Innocent, thank you. I appreciate you. Guys, please do the honors immediately. Let's start sharing. It's going to be a great evening. Thank you. It's another week. I hope you had a nice Independence Day yesterday. We sure did, and I think that we actually helped in opening us up to a lot more information about Nigeria history, and also Dr. Sunday's plans and thoughts on Nigeria. So I actually learned a lot. I hope you also did. Hello, Stella. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Hi, family. Hi, friends. I appreciate you all for joining. Please share, share, share. And today, I really want you to engage with me here. I'm the only person in the studio today, and as you can see, actually we're somewhere else. We are in Dr. Sunday's office in the city. So I'm in another part of the office, and Dr. Sunday is in another part, and today is just going to be a really, really blessed and informative evening. So here is a start, and I really, really want you guys to enjoy and engage with us. We're going to discuss attributes. You know how we came about the attributes of Dr. Sunday that we all love and we all believe, and also Dr. Sunday encouraged us to develop as well, because they're all good. These are the attributes that you love and you said that you want to develop in yourself and you love about Dr. Sunday. So we had 50 during his Golden Jubilee, because of course Golden Jubilee is 50. We collated 50 of his attributes that you love. So let's start discussing today. We will be discussing the attribute purposeful. So it's a very important attribute. It's so important that it's really the pinnacle of our life. We are all alive to be purposeful, right? So we really need to discuss this in every facet that we possibly could. Hello, Amayo. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Rex, good evening. Gloria, good evening. Hono Yusuf, good evening. How are you? Thank you for joining. Okay, I said that little Innocent as well. So if any more people, anyone else is there that I haven't said hello to, hello. If I didn't say hello and by calling your name, it's just because I can't see your name, honey, here. But I appreciate you for joining. Guys, you know what we do. Please tag people. We used to say 5, but I think we should tag 10. You know, these 7 p.m. programs, people are just leaving work. Well, 7 p.m. Ukraine time, people are just leaving work and people are very active, so they might not notice their notification, and it would be nice if you mention the name by tagging. So how do you tag? You write @ which is the same symbol that you use for your email, and the name. No gaps at all, just the name. And sometimes Facebook will also populate the names for you to select. Select 10 people so they're mentioned, and they will get another notification to say that their names have been mentioned. And of course, you know what you usually do, which is share. You can do that. That goes on your page, and other people will see it on your page, and they will join. And the third way is by you inviting people individually. So go to invite and invite friends, and then you can click on as many friends as possible. I usually do this all the time with my iOS device. I go to invite, and then I can just tap. If you can do that, you do that too. Okay? So I appreciate you all again for joining. Today we will be discussing the attributes purposeful. And of course, if you have any comments, you can write that down in the comment section. We always like to see your comments and read them out. I always like to read your comments out because I learn from you as well, not just me talking all the time. I always like to hear what your thoughts are too. So please share that with us. And don't forget, you can call Julie Ingoya. That's Julie Ingoya on Messenger. Julie Ingoya on Messenger, so that we can have you live, where you can talk to as many people as they're listening right now, live on Facebook. Thank you all. Hello, Yomi Jagade. Good evening. Hello, Finn. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Who else do we have? Tatiana, how are you? Good evening. Thank you for joining. Amayo and Rex, Gloria. Yes, I've said hello to you guys. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, so the definition for the attributes that we're discussing, which is purposeful, is having or showing determination or resolve. It's just as simple as that. Having or showing determination or resolve. So I really want us to discuss this. Please join me in doing so. Julie has already put her details on the comment section, and it's Julie Ingoya. She's saying that you can call on her messenger. Please do so to discuss purposeful, and hopefully somebody else, you can also call in. And if you're there and you really want to have this discussion, please feel free by calling in on that messenger, and we will have you live, and it would just be like two friends having a chat, but with the whole world listening. That's how it would be. So please join us in doing so. Okay, so having or showing determination or resolve, guys, that's an interesting one. Okay, let me tell you something about what I know about purpose. Okay, and purpose, I used to mix purpose and destiny together. I used to use them as an interchangeable word that means the same, basically, but I didn't realize that they're totally two different words until Dr. Sunday wrote a book, Who Am I and Why Am I Here? And then purpose became something else for me. You know, purpose became something totally different. And again, before that, I used purpose as, you know, in a project. What's the purpose of us doing this? Why do we want to do this? I find it easier to use it in a project than even to use it to relate to myself as an individual. I don't know. You know, that's just how I was thinking before I became more enlightened. That purpose, I must have a purpose for being here on earth. That God did not just create me and just said, well, there's a few people in the world, let me just add another one person. Or, you know, it wasn't like that. It wasn't the decision with God was not like that. So that, for me, when I discovered that, it was like I discovered gold. Like, what an amazing thing to even realize, you know, that God created me for a purpose. So I want to know what your thoughts are. How did you discover the word purpose? How do you use the word purpose? You know, I'm not even going to how you discover your purpose yet, because we're talking about purposeful. But the word purpose, what does it mean to you? Let's kind of dissect it through understanding the meaning of the word and how much we use it in our lives. So I personally, that's my background on purpose. Is I use it. It's okay. What's the purpose of calling me when my friend calls? What's the purpose of this project? What's the objective of this project? Why are we doing this? I do that. Or what is the purpose of this machine? What does this do? You know, if I want to buy maybe a product from the cosmetics counter, I might ask, if it's a new product especially, I would ask, what would this do? What's the purpose of it? What happens if I use it? Or maybe it's a new tools for the kitchen. As a woman, I would ask, okay, what does this do? Would it help me cook quicker? It would help me do this. But to self, as an individual, I hardly use it. But I realized, again, from who am I, why am I here? So when Dr. Sunday wrote this book, Who Am I, Why Am I Here? And I saw this title for the first time, it really got me thinking. I didn't even think about the content of the book. I was just thinking, wow, that title on its own is too big, is too huge to ignore. Who am I? Why am I here? And I really started thinking a lot more about purpose until then I purchased it on Amazon. As you know, guys, Dr. Sunday's books are available on Amazon. So go to Amazon of any country that you're in, or if you want it electronically, you could get them on Kindle or paperback on Amazon. Or if you're in Africa, you can get them on Okada Books. So, as I was saying about purposeful, so this is the word, first time I started really thinking in depth about the word purpose and being purposeful in life generally. And I really do want to hear your own thoughts on purposeful or purpose, and let's talk about it. Let's hear what you've got to say. I have a story that I want to tell about Dr. Sunday and how purposeful he is. Okay, so Lisa, how are you? Good evening. Chinwe, good evening. Thank you for joining. Who else do we have here? Olabisi, good evening. Thank you for joining. Uriyomi, good evening. Justine, Plutonic, thank you. Christopher, good evening. Thank you all. I appreciate you for joining this evening. I know you've had a real good time with Nigerian independence yesterday, and now we're back to reality. So we're officially 57 from today, and you know, life goes on, but with purpose. So it's actually a good thing that we're discussing purpose. So we can discuss purpose as individual, we can discuss purposes for a project, we can discuss purpose for a nation. Any angle you want to go with this, please feel free to call. As I said earlier, we're in the city today. I am in Dr. Sunday's office. So if it doesn't look like the background that you're familiar with, don't worry. I'm not in a hidden place. It's just Dr. Sunday's office in the city in Kyiv. That's where I am. So I appreciate you all actually for wondering, or even if you wanted to know. Abdul, good evening. Thank you for joining. Okay, so we're discussing purposeful. Let me go through the definition again. Having or showing determination or resolve. Okay, so let me talk in relation to Dr. Sunday first. Okay, I've spoken briefly about myself and how I discover the word purpose, how I knew the word purpose and I use it all the time, but I'm not registering it in my own head. That's just me. I don't know how you work with words, but during this period where we're discussing attributes, I've learned so much, and I've really learned the value and the use of words as well. That it's not just using it and saying the words out, but actually understanding the meaning and living those meaning. You know, because these attributes, that's what's got me to doing and thinking. I know the words in terms of the vocabulary, but I don't know them in terms of my actions, you know, in relations to my actions. I'm not consciously acting on them or acting those attributes. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be able to learn and develop myself. And I told you my story of purpose. So let me tell you a story of Dr. Sunday and how he's so purposeful with everything that he does. Let's start with teachings and some of the titles that Dr. Sunday discuss on the evening 9 p.m. late evening teachings. And I'll start with the one where he was going to start showing the videos and showing videos of religious cabals and practices that they're religious, but they're not of faith or of God. And when Dr. Sunday would always, you know, is so purposeful that he would always show, ask for opinions. So he would ask us the opinion, not just me, anybody in the house, even if there's a guest in the house or somebody coming for the first time. He's a very transparent person. So he would ask, you know, what do you think about this? I want to show the examples. I want to show this. And it's so, you know, it's so, I don't know how the word is. Immediately, I am always up for, yes, do it, you know. But Dr. Sunday would not just accept that, just yes or no, even no. He would say, okay, yes, why? Why shouldn't I? Or why should I? And it would help you to actually be purposeful in your own decision making. You know, because I'm very used to saying no. I'm a number one no person. I usually say no to things immediately, even if it's something that is going to be yes. It's something I'm working on. But Dr. Sunday would say, okay, whatever your answer is, what is the reason? This is why where I'm going with being purposeful. He would, even today's happened already today, that there's no reason not to do it. And if there's a reason not to do something, what is that reason? So whatever angle you go, or whatever direction you go, what is that reason? It can't just be a no, and it can't just be a yes. So where I'm going is that the purposeful aspect of this is that Dr. Sunday will get you to think that at a point, even if you're just saying something, it builds your own strength and your own understanding on that topic as well. Because for you to say whichever direction you're choosing, you can't be on the fence. So you have to be able to say yes or no to his answer. But that yes or no doesn't stop there. That yes or no will have to be backed up with facts, with truth, with something to make it a tangible, make it something that it can be used. You can't just say yes, no, it has to be useful. And the only way that is useful is by you having information, having the right details about what you're saying yes or no about. So this is how I realized that he is so purposeful. And at the end, when he hears everybody's angle on the topic, he would come and he would tell you where his stance is and the reasons for those stands, that you would just be blown away. You can never be on a fence. You would end up either being on one side or the other side. And I find that so amazing, because I am usually, if somebody says yes or no to me, I would just take it as yes or no. I wouldn't even prompt those people. And this is how I discovered that Dr. Sunday is absolutely purposeful, because by the time he finished with you, with the reasons why he's going to do what he wants to do, you would have no argument. Even if you're on the other side, or the reason why he's not going to do it, you would have no argument. You would understand clearly, and you would have the peace that you need in order for you to be happy with the outcome, or to join in the subject or in the issue or whatever it is. So I think it shows many examples of being purposeful, but that's just one of them that I'm sharing. And I've got so many more examples of Dr. Sunday being purposeful. So I really like to hear from you before I continue and share more. I feel sometimes like I'm some sort of an insider that really, insider just kind of like they don't say anything. But me, my insider is like, I really want to share everything with you, because Dr. Sunday taught me to be transparent to his life. There's nothing hidden, and we can share with as many people as we want if it's going to be useful. Again, that also have to be purposeful. I'm one of the, I think I've told you this before, that I'm also one of those people that is always asking questions. And then Dr. Sunday would say, goes back to purposeful again. He would say something like, why are you asking that? What benefit? Okay, if you know the answers to that, if at first it was very difficult to take, he would say something like, if you know the answers to that, what would it do for you? Would it help you? Would it improve you? Would it help you achieve your goals? At first I used to think, I just want to know, I just want to know. Why not? It's good information. It's like, no, what is this information going to do? Think about it. And then most of the time when I think about it, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is absolutely true. This is absolutely true. There's no point in me knowing this. Again, this is how Dr. Sunday is purposeful. And when I first came living here, I didn't get it. I was always asking questions, and he would say, is this going to help you to achieve this? Would this help you if I give you the answers to this? Are you really ready for the answers as well? Because sometimes I'm not even ready for the answers. I don't even want to hear the answers. I'm just asking because for asking sake. He taught me to be purposeful and focused in everything that I do. And that has really, really helped me in everything in life. I'll tell you a few ways that has helped me. Number one, when I ask questions before, some things that I don't even need to know, I'm disturbing my head with it. I'm actually populating my head with lots of different information that I don't need. It's not going to have any advantage in my life or in anybody's life. So I don't know why I continue to ask this question, but I never thought about it. Secondly, some things, when I do hear them and I'm not ready for them, it actually derails me. It distracts me from what I'm doing. So it doesn't help me in any way. So what's the point? If I'm going to go and listen to something, let's say, for example, I'm calling a friend and we're just gossiping, and he or she tells me something that I don't really want to hear, because I wasn't purposeful in my actions anyway. I was just ready to listen to anything and anybody, and then somebody would just drop anything on me. It's like dropping a dump in you, and then you have to clean it up. That's what I realized, that wow, this is so true. This is so useful to be purposeful in everything that I do. The way Dr. Sunday does things is absolutely valid, because by being purposeful, he's not derailed. He knows what he wants to achieve. He knows where he's going, and the focus is on that until that is achieved. So that is another lesson that I learned, and I learned it, and I found that has really improved my life. It's also improved my relationship with people, because I'm not spending time talking about things that I don't really need to know, and getting the information that is derailing me from other things that I should focus my energy on. So again, I cannot emphasize enough how important this word is, purposeful. And that's just on a basic day-to-day living. I haven't even touched on the purposeful in terms of understanding your purpose and your calling. But let me take some breath. I really want to hear from somebody else. So please, guys, I want your comments or you calling, and you can call Julie Ngoya. We're supposed to, I'm going to call actually a gentleman that you've all known and love, and I'm going to call him now so that he can also join in this conversation. I think it's really fun when we do that. I think I've got him already. Let me call. Excuse me, guys. So to join in this conversation, I will let him introduce himself. So I'm not going to say who it is. Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Who's on the line?
This is Anu.
Yay, guys! Did you hear that? Okay, speak up, please, Dr. Anu.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is Anu Ojo.
Thank you very much. So it's Dr. Anu Ojo on the line. He's decided to join me. Actually, I asked that if he would join, and he kindly obliged. He's always there for me. He's a great guy, and you guys, I don't need to even do any of this introduction about how great he is. Twice you had him yesterday. So you had him early evening and later on in the evening, and you know already, even prior to that, you know how he is. So I really want him to join in this discussion. And anybody else, please. Dr. Anu is here with me, but you can still call Julie Ngoya to engage in this conversation. So please, you can call, and Dr. Anu will stay on my line, and then you will be on Julie Ngoya's line. So you can still call him, and we can have like 3-way and 100 ways, depending on how many people are online listening as well. So you can also write your comments. So Dr. Anu, today's attributes is purposeful.
Yeah.
So I want to, usually you know about these attributes already, but let me just do introductions for the people that don't, and they're just joining us. We discussed the attributes of Dr. Sunday that we all love. How did we come on about these attributes? During Dr. Sunday's Golden Jubilee back in May, we asked the followers and the audience to send us attributes of Dr. Sunday that they love, and they sent several attributes, and of those attributes we selected 50, given that it was his Golden Jubilee. And from June, we started discussing them every now and then, maybe 2 or 3 times in a week. We start discussing each attribute, and today we are on number 26, and that attribute is purposeful. So this is how we came about it. You already know Dr. Anu So this is just for the benefit of new people that are joining us. So what do you think about these attributes? My question earlier was the word purposeful. How do you use it? How do you see that word? You know, I went through the definition. I'm sure that you've looked at the definition as well, but I'll just remind you in case you haven't seen, having or showing determination or resolve. So my question to everyone was, how did they come about the word purpose? How did they use the word purpose or purposeful? You know, even if they're the same, purposeful and purpose, is it the same? Maybe you can help us. You're a doctor. You should know. You should know a lot more than I do. Go ahead.
All right. So, well, talking about purposeful, I guess the word purpose there already gives the substratum or the basis of the word purposeful. So I would just taking it from a superficial perspective. Let's just divide the word purposeful into two words.
Okay.
Purpose and full.
Okay.
So if we say purposeful, then we could just say full of purpose, right? So let's just, that is just being very superficial, just taking it from surface value. But talking about purposeful, I want to strongly believe that it communicates having such it has it. If you're going to make a purposeful action, it means that there is already a predetermined idea. There is already a focus in view. There is already a notion that informed that decision in such a way that whatever action that is made is not spontaneous, because if a purposeless action or decision is one that is just spontaneous without any informed not an informed decision. So talking about purposeful, I'm going to associate it with making a move or a decision or an action that is informed.
Okay.
So there is, and talking about being informed, I'm talking about having a goal in mind, because the idea of purpose is that there is a goal, there is something you are aiming at. So using the idea purposeful, because purposeful is an adjective actually. So it's used to describe maybe an action or a person or a decision, but just generally a noun that communicates having a predetermined idea or a predetermined focus or a predetermined goal as to what you want to do.
Wow. Thank you very much for that, but stay on the line. Okay, guys, I hope you heard all of that, but I just want to highlight some of the things. First of all, in order to be purposeful, according to Dr. Anu, and I actually totally agree with this, is that there has to be a goal in mind. So there have to be a predetermined goal, because if that doesn't happen, then there's nothing to focus that purpose on. So you said that purposeful or purpose, it can be broken down into two, purpose and full. So it has to be something pre-existing that you need to focus on. And I am really interested in expanding on that more, and maybe having it on a specific angle that you want to choose. Maybe it's according to maybe a plan or something that you want to achieve, or maybe purpose in life, because I mentioned that briefly, or maybe purpose as a nation, because I know that you're actually one of the transformers, national transformer, or maybe I would say somebody that is very vocal about society. So I really do want us to kind of like place this in an area of interest for you. It's up to you, and let's kind of discuss it in that area, what purposeful means and what it does in that specific area that you're going to discuss. But just hold fire right now. I just want to read some comments that are coming in. Chimezi, hello, thank you. I saw your comments and also interested in to read. It says, for me, purposeful is the ability to be single-minded and intentional in the pursuit of a worthy goal or objective. Wow, That is so true. You know, single-minded is, to me, also means focused, resolved, and determined on, and intentional, of course, on a pursuit of a worthy goal. You know, I love the word that you use there, worthy goal or objective, because worthy is what is important here. Because sometimes we also are in pursuit of things that are not worthy. So purposeful, so we can be in pursuit of things, we can be doing things. I explained earlier that I really ask a lot of questions, non-necessary questions, even though it's good to ask questions. But when I started asking questions that are not worthy, it's not even going to get me anywhere or get the person that is going to answer the question anywhere, then it's pointless. It's a waste of my time and their time. So for you, Chimeze, actually, the word worthy there is an absolute key in terms of purposeful, you know. So I'm really grateful. Please keep your comments coming. I appreciate it. Hello, Mrs. B. Good evening. I saw you there coming in. Thank you very much. Victoria, good evening. Paul, good evening. Bamishaye, good evening. Thank you for joining. Chimeze, good evening again. Michael, good evening. Thank you for joining. Guys, please don't forget to tag somebody and also share this. So, before Dr. Anu, before you continue, I also have another definition from vocabulary.com that I really want to read out in relations to what Chimeze shared with us. So just bear with me a few more seconds. It says something purposeful is done on purpose. It means to achieve an aim. Okay, but Chimeze will even put it better, because you can achieve an aim, but if the aim is just a waste of time, then what's the point? It's not purposeful as far as I'm concerned. So I actually like that worthy in this definition, in the definition that Chimeze gave. And then it went on to say lots of things happen accidentally and randomly, and says, but other things have a purpose. Such things can be called purposeful. Going to college, starting a family, giving to a charity, and adopting a dog or are all purposeful acts. People have a reason for doing them, and they want to accomplish something specific. Purposeful things are thought out and intentional. You know, this is very this now at the end of it became more specific, because it says people have a reason for doing them. So there must be a reason behind it, and I think that's also ties in with worthy. You know, sometimes there's a reason, but is that reason worthy? So I think that this is again some of the things that we need to consider. That is it worthy? It might be a reason, but is the reason good? You know, I think worthy means that is it worth it? Is it good? Is it going to achieve a goal or my objective or something that I want in life? Is it going to help me to be where I need to get to? So thank you again, Chimeze. Dr. Anu, please, you may continue.
All right. So I really love the addition of the word.
Yes.
Yeah, but what I want to just add,
okay,
is, you know, the word purposeful is it's a general English word, and which everyone uses. I'm talking about this is not religious biased.
No.
Yeah, it is not race biased. It's not country biased.
Or gender bias.
Gender bias, exactly. Mm-hmm. So everyone uses the word purposeful, and everyone is actually is aware of what it means to be purposeful. But what I want to add actually is in regards to I want to use the word resolute.
Resolute, okay?
Yeah. So I want to use the word resolute to further explain my perspective as to purposeful. Yeah, because you know, like I said before, talking about purposeful, it comes with the idea of purpose, all right? And when it comes to the idea of purpose, what purpose does is that it gives you a prior understanding of what you want to do. For example, if I want to live where I am right now, and I want to go to McDonald's, all right, so I already know where I am going to. So the journey from where I am right now to McDonald's, it is going to be perceived as a purposeful journey because I already have a destination in mind.
Yes.
Exactly.
I see. Yeah.
But now I want to bring in another word, and that is resolute, because there is this actually comes into the idea of being purposeful. And why I want to bring this is because it is not just enough to have a destination in mind, because many people have a destination. They have an aim. They know what they want to achieve. They have their goals. But see, just knowing the goal you want to achieve doesn't automatically mean you're going to achieve the goal. And you having an informed decision as to where you want to go, or it can even be a worthy goal, you see, because we're talking about a worthy goal. So it can even be a worthy goal, a worthy purpose. But just having that information, just having that idea, just having that, just getting to know that, okay, I want to achieve this worthy goal, or I want to get to this end, doesn't automatically mean you're going to get to that end. So now I want to bring in the idea of being resolute, because the idea of being resolute means you already know where you want to go. You already have an informed idea, an informed decision as to why you want to make that step. But now, being purposeful for me is not just having the idea of where you want to go to, but being resolute, being determined that you won't stop halfway. You're not going to get to a point and end. Because for me, I'm going to define a purposeful journey as one that does not just have an end in view, but one that has an end in view and has everything that it takes to get to that end.
Okay.
So let's take an example of DSA. You see, it's just like he wants to produce several of his product. Like I'm talking about the DSA thoughts, DSA innovations.
Yes, the DSA 7. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, you see, all of those things are already informed ideas, informed decisions that he has. But you see, all of that would never be executed if he does not have all that it takes to make sure that he achieves that. So I won't define somebody as purposeful by just knowing where he wants to go to. But I'm going to define someone as purposeful as not just knowing what he wants to achieve, not just knowing his destination, but having every other quality and all other necessities that it will take for that person to move from point A to
the
point
next
B.
point. Brilliant. Okay, so in saying that, now my next question to you would be, of course you can continue this, would also be, what are the things that we need in order to be purposeful? We know we need a worthy goal. We know we need a goal, so worthy goal, we need to be resolved. What else would we need? So think about that while I say hello and read some comments as well, please. Comments. Okay, and I've got a caller. So hi Ify, good evening. Reverend Roslyn, good evening. Mrs. B, thank you very much. Hello Gift, blessing, it's been a while. Good evening, thank you. Okay, I've got a caller. So also wait on there, Dr. Anu. I'm just going to pick the call as well. So this is great. I love when somebody calls. Hello, good evening. Who do we have here?
Hello, good evening. This is Pelumi from Nigeria.
Hello, Pelumi. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very fine, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Well, I've been following the topic on Purposeful for a while now.
Okay, I think we need...
And,
Pelumi, you need to speak a little bit louder, please.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
So I've been following it since when you came up. And the first thought that came to my mind on being purposeful and relating it to myself was that one of the things that really makes one purposeful is knowledge. Because I also did a relationship between Dr. Sunday and the generals here in Nigeria.
Yes.
The reason why Dr. Sunday seems to be very adamant about the situation in Nigeria is because of the grounded knowledge he has on the way on the way society should function and the purpose of the Christian faith. So one of the things I feel that is really lacking and why a lot of
Speak up a little bit.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello? Yes, I can hear you, but I think others may not hear you as...
Am I clear now?
Yeah, you're clear, but it's just low. It's clear, but not loud enough. So if you could help out, please. Yeah.
Okay. Hello. Is it clear now?
Yes, it's very clear, but it's just not loud. Guys, I hope you can hear our caller. He's Pelumi, and he's really giving us an interesting account of his thoughts on Purposeful and also on Dr. Sunday. So I really hope you can hear me. Please put a thumbs up if you can hear him. I know you'll be able to hear me, but can you hear him as well? Let me see with your thumbs up. Okay, go ahead, Pelumi.
Yeah, okay. Like I was saying, one of the reasons why I feel the difference between Dr. Sunday, like I said before, and the other generals like we have in Nigeria is the knowledge, the grounded knowledge that he has on the purpose of the Christian faith. If without that knowledge, this thing there will be it's cut across everybody. There's going to be a level of purposelessness and all by which people are going to function. And I feel also that knowledge is a continuum, in the sense that there's a
Hold on. Pelumi. Hello? Hold on. I can hear you. Hold on, please. Just 1 second. Okay. Sorry, we're trying to adjust the volume so that you can speak through a speaker or something. Okay. So let's try again. Yeah?
Okay.
Continue where you are. I think some people can't hear you, but some can. Okay, go ahead.
Hello. I feel that knowledge is a continuum, and what actually makes some people like go down the drain or something is that they don't stop at the level of knowledge by which they are at. There's no more digging in, there's no much research into the focus, into the goal by which they are aiming at. So it just, and when they stop at that particular level, it looks like everything just becomes stagnant. They don't know the full worth of whatever they are trying to achieve and all. So I just feel that I think that's what I got from, that's what I know from the topic of Purposeful and from following Dr. Sunday and the whole thing.
Brilliant, Pelumi. That's actually a very good point that you raised there, that knowledge. You know, you cannot be purposeful if you don't have knowledge. And I think actually Chimezi and actually Dr. Anu as well, they both mentioned this, but they didn't actually specify as you have specified in terms of knowledge, where you're using the word knowledge itself. What distincts Dr. Sunday, for example, from other preachers or other leaders is that he has knowledge. He has in-depth knowledge. So I think that's what everybody is really trying to say, but you just broke it down for us. So thank you so much. Please call again. We really want to hear from you. Thank you very much. Okay,
Bye.
that was good.
Yeah.
Bye. Okay, Dr. Anu.
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you hear that? Because actually he answered the question that I was asking everyone and also you.
Exactly.
Which is like, what do you need? And I'm not sure if you even heard, but you know, knowledge is what you need. So excellent. That's brilliant. Thank you again, Anu. Pelumi, for calling in for all the way from Nigeria. We appreciate you. So, guys, Dr. Anu, continue, please.
Yeah, I think what Olafalumi said was just that's like one of the major pillars, or I would say the foundation as to anyone who is going to be purposeful, because knowledge actually is the foundation, and he is so right with that. He is so right with that. So, and next now I want to talk about how you can be purposeful. All right, is that a purposeful person, or for you to be purposeful, you must understand the value of time.
You guys, you can all see that this is Dr. Sunday Jr. right here. You must understand the value of time. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Anu.
Because the Bible says for everything there is a time in the book of Ecclesiastes, right?
Yes.
So in Ecclesiastes it says in this part of the world, I mean in this planet, there is a time for everything. All right. Mm-hmm. There is a time for everything. So for anyone that doesn't value time or doesn't have an understanding of how valuable time is, the person, you can't be purposeful if you are a time waster. You can't be purposeful if you have little or no regard for time. Why? Because for every purpose that needs to be achieved, there is a time attached to it. Wow. For anything you want to do, there is a time. Yes. So imagine someone wants to catch a train by 5. Now, if the person does not understand the value of time, the person would never meet up with that train. Yes. Because there's a very high probability that the person will miss the train or the flight. So one thing that anyone listening or anyone would have to learn and really get a deep understanding of, if you want to live a purposeful life, is that you must understand the value of time. Yeah, absolutely. You must understand how important time is, because you can't be purposeful if you don't value time.
Wow. That's absolutely true. And I have a feeling that another word is coming after this. My question was that, what do you need in addition to having a goal? What do you need in order? You have to have a goal, and Dr. Anu also said that you have to be resolved. And Chimeze mentioned worthy goal, the word worthy with the goal. And I asked a question that, what else do you need? And Pelumi immediately called, or maybe he's already on the phone, and he said that we also need to have knowledge. And that's what distinguish Dr. Sunday from other people and other leaders and other pastors, is because he has knowledge. He has depth of knowledge. And Dr. Anu has now said that you have to also have time, but not just have time, understand the value of time. I feel something else is coming on, because usually when Dr. Sunday talks about time, something else comes after that. But I'm not going to say the word. I'm sure somebody is going to say it. And we have a caller right now, so I'm going to give it to I'm going to have the caller to speak. So Dr. Anu, please bear with us for a minute again. Okay, who do we have here?
Hi.
Hello. Hello. So
This is Chimeze on the line.
Hello, thank you, Chimeze. So guys, it's Chimeze on the line, and I'm really keen to hear what Chimeze's got to say. I've already read out one of your comments, so please go ahead, Chimeze.
Yeah, I think Dr. Anu just, put it succinctly. He mentioned the critical thing, and that had to do with time. I had noted that myself.
Okay.
And I was going to start by saying that, first and foremost, God, the creator of the whole universe, is a God of time. And that's why I always tell people, sarcastically sometimes, pardon me, I tell them when they're praying for things, and I tell them, look, God works in a particular time. He's not going to give you something he has planned would happen in 6 years' time today. So however you knock your head on the wall, he works with time, which is why he says in due season, in time. So even the objectives we're talking about, the goals we're pursuing that are worthy, and God is the most, is the one who has the worthiest of all goals. And that you find out that every time, and he exemplified that in Jesus. The Bible says Jesus lived for 33 years. But if you look at it, there was a time frame to everything he did. At 12 years, he appeared at the temple and preached. And by 33 years, he was done. So you see, there was a timing for everything. There was no room for wastages. There was no room to talk about African time. There was no room, all those kinds of things that we do. So for any purpose to be accomplished, like I said, there has to be that singleness of mind. And that's why, go back to the Jesus again, the Bible references the fact that, he set his face, like a flint. He was heading somewhere. And my best example is a journey. If, for instance, I set out to say I want to go to South Africa from Nigeria, there are several stoppages, there are several countries. And on the course of embarking on that journey, I decided to veer off to Namibia. That's not being purposeful. I'm not saying you may not have a need to go to Namibia, but what that means is that Namibia may not be your priority. So but if your priority is to head or accomplish something, you target to go somewhere, you set your mind on it. There will be different distractions, and I don't know how many of us have been privileged to read the book Pilgrim's Progress. If you've read that book, it just tells you why it is necessary for you to have a purpose and be focused on it. There were several distractions on the way of that pilgrim. He went into several places I can't begin to enunciate now, and at several instances he missed his way. But when you're purposeful, when you have a target, you've identified it, you sat down to lay a plan, put timelines, frames on when certain milestones will be accomplished, when you will do certain things. You may not exactly hit it per se because we're not exactly God. But you know what? You would always be moving gradually towards your goal. And you will not allow any form of distraction to come and put you away from accomplishing that goal. So I just wanted to put that out there in addition to some of the things that our main caller, main presenter or speaker, has said. So you just, for me critically, it's just having that singleness of mind.
Yes.
For every goal, there has to be a singleness of mind. In nation building, there has to be a singleness of mind. There has to be certain things we're targeting, milestones we set for ourselves, so that as we begin to go accomplish them, we tick this and that's okay, I've achieved this. What is it going to take me to accomplish the next one? And then we move on until we eventually get to our destination or the end of our project.
Yes. Thank you very much, Chimeze. But you know what? I have a question about this. So, Dr. Anu or Chimeze, any of you can actually help me with this, because, or anyone watching, with what you said about time, and there's a time for everything. And you gave very good examples about time and, when the time is, when Jesus did certain things, and it was a specific time and he applied himself and it was season and time. Okay. But I really get a bit caught up with that, because when anything is happening, and I there's a thin line between understanding that it's a season time, or it's a time for this to happen, and a time for you to do something about it, to make sure that you achieve that. From the point where you come to the knowledge of something, that okay, this is what I want to do, and if it's not happening for you, when do you know that it's the time, or it's not the season, or you're not doing your best, or you're not applying everything that you need to apply in order to achieve that thing? Because I think religion, especially, really, this is what people hide under when they say that it's not season, it's not the time, you have to wait for your time, when maybe there are other things that you need to do. And for me, I used to really struggle with this as a Christian before. Now I don't struggle as much, but because I would put all my energy in whatever I need to do and have that single-mindedness that you mentioned. But I still think that this is where there's always a problem, because they always tell you about season and maybe it's not time. But if it's not time, then why did God give me the knowledge to realize that I want to do it? You know,
okay,
that
Maya,
is
sorry,
something.
I just want to come in quickly because I need to run.
Okay.
And then I'll let Dr. Anu, sort of round up for us.
Okay.
When I use that word time and season, I don't use it loosely as in the religious perspective.
Okay.
I don't use it loosely. Truth about the matter is there is always a time. I'll give you an example with some, tangibles. There is a time to do a construction of a road. And it doesn't matter whether you're in Africa, where we have rainy season, or you're in Europe, where the harsher weather is winter. Like I just woke up this morning to realize it was snowing all over the place. A construction company is not going to walk into the road and start tying the roads when it's snowing. And you can't do the same thing when it's raining. Mm-hmm. So there's a time. So you know that, look, the best time for us to do an evaluation of this road, understand the soil texture, understand the level of gravel we need to pour, or cement, or bitumen, is going to be when the road is dry. And so when it's dry, the construction company and the engineers will get in there, begin to do all their measurements, and then proceed to make sure they tar the road before the season gets into the worst situation where they can't do it.
Yes.
So that's what I mean by time and season.
Okay.
It is not used in the religious perspective that creates laziness.
Yes.
And then making us to defer the things we're supposed to do and say, let us wait for God. God has given us time.
Yes.
But He has also given us seasons. So for you to be able to look at the season as, oh, this is the season for this. Season for planting. Then I go to my farm. I begin to till the farm. I clear the farm first. I make my mold.
Wow.
Then I begin to plant my seeds. There's a time to go back in the agrarian period to go and remove the what's it called now, the weeds. Yeah. And when you do that, then there's a time for you to plant some of the harvest. So, but if you do these things at the wrong time, then there's nature. See, you can't go against nature. And even if it is, like the examples I used, or when it has to do with work or whatever, there is always a time for everything. And if you try to do anything outside of time, you're wasting precious resources. God does not waste resources. We must always realize that He wants us to be able to make the best of the time. And the word says that the children of Issachar, they understood the time. So you have to understand
the time.
If you don't have an understanding, it's part spiritual, it's part physical. So I will let Dr. Anu, add more. I'm sure he has a bit more to add.
Thank you
to
very much.
But it's not used in the silly, lazy, religious sense that people try to
Thank you. I really do want to clarify that, and you did that nicely. Thank you very much. But I'm looking forward to Dr. Anu's one as well. Thank you for that, Chimeze. Okay.
Wow, that's a brilliant question there.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, how do we answer this question right now? Okay, so I really appreciate the fact that Chimeze clarified that talking about times and seasons, he is not speaking from a religious perspective or from the lackadaisical perspective of religious folks that are waiting for something to give them a sign that okay, now let me go and do what I have to do. Let me submit that there is time for everything, and the time for everything to be done is now. Now that might sound like I just made an error, but I'm going to explain it. The time for everything, there is time for everything, and now is the time for everything.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain myself. So I'm going to repeat it. There is time for everything, and now is the time for everything. Now, why did I make this statement? It is because, you see, the whole idea of timing is that time reveals to you that things don't just happen automatically. Time reveals to you that there's a process. So, a couple that wants to have a child, and they want to have a child let's say next year, December.
Yes.
Now, when is the time for them to have a child? Is it December? No. They
Yes.
want to get a child in December.
Yes.
But they must know that the time to get a child is not in December, but 9 months before that time.
Or the preparation for the child.
Or the preparation, exactly.
Okay.
So you see, they want to have a child December. So before they even get the child to be tangible, then preparations must be done on how to cater for the child. What are the things that we need to get prepared for this child? So now, what does it mean to understand the value of time and to take advantage of seasons? It means that you begin to do what needs to be done at the present moment that you are in such a way that you already know where you are going to. You already know, for example, the couple, they want a child in the next year, December. But they, right now, are already living in that reality. And how are they living in that reality? They are already making preparations from now. So, I'm going to say what I said again. There is time for everything, and now is the time for everything.
Wow.
So, what you have to start doing right now, if you want to live a purposeful life, is that if you want to achieve anything, apparently there is always a process. There is always a gap. There is a process and there is a procedure that must be taken to get that achieved result or to get that desired result. But now is the time for you to start. And that is the reason why, even in English, we have the noun word is also, there's a synonym for the noun as present. And we understand present to be like gift. So the gift that you have is now. So if you want to live a purposeful life, you don't start living a purposeful life tomorrow. You don't start living a purposeful life when you want to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yes.
I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't decide to be a doctor and I started working to be a doctor when I graduated. No. It started right from when I was in secondary school. I wrote examinations. Then I got into the medical school. Then I went through medical school. And then I emerged as a medical doctor. You see, but in all of those stages, I was living purposeful. I was taking advantage of time. So, because the Bible says, whosoever that goes out and is observing the wind, whosoever who is in the scripture, it says, whosoever observes the wind and observes the cloud will never sow. So if you are waiting for everything to be said and for me to, okay, now I want my child to, okay, my wife come, let's have the child now. No. So there is time for everything, true, but now is the time for everything. So what do you have to start doing now? Now.
Wow. OMG, guys, I got a full money's worth, even more than my money's worth today. I'm so grateful because I have answers on every angle in areas that I really do need to go back and watch this over and over again so that I can imbibe several lessons that you guys have shared with me today. And I'm so grateful, Dr. Anu, especially from your angle now, because after Chimezi spoke, I actually thought there is really nothing much else to say. You know, when you think about the season and then you think about, you know, what you want to achieve, and then taking the religious aspect away, you're understanding that, okay, you cannot do certain things at a certain period because at that period then you cannot maybe it's not conducive. The weather, for example, that was his example, which was the weather might not be conducive to it. But even at that, you know, the angle that you came in, Dr. Anu, actually helped to support what he said as well. Because when you came in with the angle of Planned Parenthood, these two people that want to have children, a couple that want to have children, even at that situation, let's say they building, not building in winter, or not deciding to start foundation in winter when the snow is really falling, that's a plan. You wouldn't do it in that season because there's too much there's too much interruption. But even for you to think not to do it at that season, so that you can channel your energy or your resources elsewhere, is still going by what your quote is, which is the plan is now. Because at the point where you realize that at winter you can't do anything, you have to also make plans to do something else and know when to come back to that project, if we're going by your, Chimezi's project. So there's a time for everything. Now is the time for everything. It's an amazing quote. We've written it down. So guys, if you want to remember this quote, Julia's written it down. So Dr. Anu. So please, I would always remember that. Thank you so much, Dr. Anu. That's really, really important. And I'm grateful for, just obliging as usual to join us this evening and to, just join me. I'm grateful for that. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say before? Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
Well, I think my last words would be to encourage everyone who is listening right now, and anyone who would listen to this audio or to this video, that it's never too late to start. Because, talking about times and seasons, many people miss out their time. Many people, for example, you see, the Bible says that the strength of the glory of the youth is the strength. So, and there is so much that you can do while you're young because of the strength that comes with that season of your life. And I think many people, due to the ignorance, might have missed out in doing what they ought to do at a stage in their life. But that doesn't mean you can't start again. That doesn't mean you can't actually reinvent your life and begin to live that purposeful life that you have gotten knowledge about. So it is never too late to start. Yes. Even if you are old, or you are aged, or you think you've lost years, and you're considering yourself as okay, maybe I could just continue living the mundane life I've been living. There's really nothing much I can achieve. I don't have the strength. I can't do all. If I was young, well, no, that really doesn't count. You don't have to wish you were young, because that would be a fantasy that would never come to reality. But you have to accept the reality of things right now. That, okay, I might have made some mistakes in the past. I might have missed out doing some things I meant to do while I was at a younger age. But now that I have knowledge, now that I know what to do, I can reinvent my life. I can chart the course of my life. I can begin to amend my wrong. I can begin to amend my wrongs. I can begin to do what I need to do in whatever capacity that I can do. Because listen, it's okay to be ignorant, but that is bad. It's not good to be ignorant, because ignorance is on its own is terrible. But shall I tell you what is more terrible? It is more terrible for you not to be ignorant, to know what to do and not do it. That is what differentiates an ignorant person from a foolish person. So, now that you have come to understand that you ought to live a purposeful life, you ought to live your life not just haphazardly, or to live your life spontaneously without any purpose in mind. Maybe you were young. Maybe you were old. Maybe you've wasted 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, 30 years. That doesn't mean you can start now.
Wow.
You can start now. And if you start now, it will amaze you the kind of feats you're going to achieve or attain. It will amaze you the kind of result you are going to get, because now you are informed. And because you are informed, you can actually cause a transformation in your life and in the lives of people around you. So it is never late. It's never too late to start. So you can start now.
Brilliant. Wow. Thank you very much, Dr. Anu. You're getting a standing ovation and clapping from here from Julie. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining. I'm going to close now, so we catch up later. Thank you.
Right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Wow, guys, it's been an amazing evening. Actually, I think that we will continue this same topic tomorrow. It's so interesting and it's so weighty that I don't think that one hour of just one day is enough. I think our whole life is dependent on this purpose and being purposeful, because that's why we're here. We haven't touched on the angle of creation and purpose for ourselves as an individual coming here on earth and what God has as planned for us, and many other angles. So don't say that you're not warned. So I'm giving you a pre-warning now, so it's not a surprise, so everyone can engage tomorrow, you know. So I'm expecting lots of calls tomorrow and lots of comments. So we'll talk about this again tomorrow. We'll continue on this same topic, purposeful, tomorrow. So bring your questions, bring your comments, bring your opinions. Let's share them. Let's grow together, please. Please, please, please. Okay? So I'll see you again this evening. Well, I will see you in your name, but you might not see me physically. Dr. Sunday will be the one who is sharing as usual. Today's topic is so interesting. I think I saw the word Lucifer and I was like, okay, something about Lucifer and churches. You really need to be here. It's 9 p.m. Ukraine time, which is 7 p.m. UK and Nigeria time, and we really need you all to join in, and we all need to get involved. There's also going to be a call-in as usual after, so please come early, because we are now in the city and we will need to go home, which is about an hour ride. So the quicker you come, the better for us, so that we don't end up leaving here too late. So that's just a plea for you guys to be on time, and let's all join in this evening. That's in less than an hour. I think it's about 50 minutes from now. So join us again. And also, please don't forget, Dr. Sunday is on YouTube, on Telegram, on SoundCloud, on Twitter, various platforms. Please like, join, subscribe, do whatever you need to do so that you don't miss out on any of this. And we will see you again in a little while. Thank you so much. I haven't said hello to Davina. Thank you very much. Uriyomi, good evening. Bukola, good evening. Ovigo, good evening. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. Thank you for joining. Please share this. Oluwakemi, good evening. Hello, Paul. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There was a comment. Chimezi says, everything is created twice or even thrice. First in your mind and then on paper before we bring it to reality tangibly. Yes, Chimezi, we will discuss that tomorrow. Because you know what? I was actually playing there because as a project manager, everything is about purpose. Everything is about plans and direction and goals and everything. So Chimezi, we'll really love if you would join us tomorrow. For my God is God of now. Thank you very much. Ade also saying hello to everyone. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Ifenyinwa. Thank you. I appreciate your nice comments. Bukola says, I think we also need to conquer ourselves for us to be purposeful. Absolutely. You know, it starts with us. Everything starts with us. So on that note, guys, I am going to end this program, but we'll be back again very shortly. Okay, so see you. Dr. Sunday will continue his teaching, and something about Lucifer and the church. I don't want to miss it. I don't think you do either. So we'll see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye.